And thank you to everyone who did do the prompt in chat. It's just a good way for our officers to get to know you and for you guys to get to know us. Just kind of a nice little icebreaker without you guys having to unmute and speak out if you're not feeling comfortable.
And just as a reminder, if you can please put your first and last name as your name on Zoom, that'd be great because we do have a raffle at state conference where people who attend our monthly membership meetings are put into the raffle. So please change your name to first and last. But let's get started. Welcome to the Colorado FBLA January monthly membership meeting. My name is Jalen Chavez, and I'm your 2024 to 2025 state president. We're excited that you're all here tonight, and we're ready to start learning and get networking and have some fun, talk about districts and all of the exciting things that are coming up in the next month or two. So the January monthly membership meeting is now called to order. Let's start the evening off.
We are going to start with a quick icebreaker. The game is wrong answers only. There it is. What does FBLA stand for?
Feel free to unmute or type in the chat.
Yeah, Addison, give us one.
I was totally thinking, and I cannot think of one. I was like,
Ooh, funny bunny loving Americans. I like that one.
oh, okay, that was
That's a
kind
good one.
that is good.
Or fantastic beings
Live,
live alike. Live
think live
alike.
alike. I love that.
That was a good one.
Free beans.
Three
Clearly,
beings
finance.
live alive.
Clearly, a financial buddy's losing assets, but I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good
That's a
one.
good one.
Anybody else have one? Fantastic babies love applesauce. I like that.
Future baristas of
I love
Latin
that.
America. Those are the pretty good ones.
I love
Okay.
beans.
Next, what is the best thing to say in an interview? That's a good
The
one.
best, the best thing to say in your interview would probably be that you got fired from your last job.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or that you don't call in.
That's true.
You just don't show up
Hmm.
every
My
week
dad
as
had
possible.
dad had an interviewer that said he worked at the Wyoming Department of Corrections for a while,
Yeah, something like that.
not as a guard.
Anybody else have one? Are there any in the chat?
Can only start after she has her latte.
Okay.
I
That was
feel like
not
that's something I feel like Lauren would love that. Yeah, and she just said, I hate to work. I want to come in late to work or sleep on the job. I get to sleeping on the job. Okay.
Ready?
Finally, okay, next, what should you bring your competitive event?
Obviously, your dog.
Your
Oh
dog.
yeah, that's the
Yes.
best idea.
Probably a blanket, so I can take a nap
Yeah.
halfway.
Your favorite sweatshirt, your pajamas,
I like that.
I'd also recommend bringing everything like but your event, like your
a
laptop and your
typewriter.
presentation.
That's a good one.
Bring your alarm with you, the one that woke you up.
I like a coloring book if you get bored.
Sandals and sparkly fedoras.
Ooh, that's
And your
specific.
portable charger. That's a good one.
That is actually a good one. Just
And a
wrong answer.
lightsaber. And a lightsaber. And a Baja Blast.
Ooh,
I think
I
that's
That,
have to
most.
that that's a good
agree with
one.
that one. All
Finally,
right,
what is your
next one.
favorite FBLA competitive event?
I think mine would definitely be like running.
Mine's
Running?
underwater basket weaving.
Disc golf. That would be a good one.
Intro to cookie baking? That sounds awesome.
Ooh, I like that. I would do that.
Hot dog eating.
That would be a great event.
Broadcast TV shows. That'd be a really good one. Scuba diving.
I would do that. Scuba diving sounds like so much fun.
Dude, I just sound like fun.
Perfect. Thank you guys all for playing.
All right, let's move on.
Thanks, Tony, for leading our icebreaker. So now we're going to jump into our topic for tonight. As you know, district conferences are coming up very soon, so each being held on their own respective dates in the beginning of February. And we want to make sure you're prepared for your conference with all the information and some tips for success.
So newer members might be wondering, how does DLC fit into FBLA as a whole? Well, the district leadership conferences serve as an excellent opportunity to prepare and position yourself for future conferences. So by placing in the top 4 of your competitive events at the district level, then you earn the chance to advance to the state leadership conference. If you qualify, make sure to mark your calendar for April 21st to the 23rd to attend NSLC, where further opportunities to qualify for the National Leadership Conference await. Additionally, DLC provides valuable workshops, networking opportunities, and a chance to connect with fellow members, helping prepare you for success throughout the year.
Now, each one of Colorado FBLA's 12 districts have their own conference, and each one kind of has their own kind of unique twist to it. There's different workshops, keynotes, service projects, and even the number of competitors in each event can be different as well. So we're going to have our state officers share what makes their districts unique and what you guys can look forward to as DLCs come up.
Hi everyone, my name's Annabelle Resco and I'm here representing District 1. Our officers have some great things planned for April 5th at University of Northern Colorado in Greeley, Colorado. So if you're in our respective district, we can't wait to see you here. We hope that you bring your enthusiasm, come ready to go with your competitive events, and are ready to have a little bit of fun and networking along the way.
For District 2, mark your calendars. Our conference will take place on February 3rd at Longmont High School, kicking off at 8 a.m. Attendees will have the exciting opportunity to participate in at least 1 out of 3 workshops, I believe, that we have. We might have a 4th one. And plus, don't forget to stop by and show your support for the Our Center fundraising table. And we do have a special guest. We can't wait to see you guys there.
In District 3, we'll have our conference February 5th at the NJC campus in Sterling. Competitions will begin after the opening session, and a variety of workshops will be going on throughout the day. One service project that will be executed at DLC is Clothes for Colorado, our t-shirt fundraiser for the Colorado Relief Fund, and the form for that closes in 3 days, so make sure you get your orders in. We'll also have another super fun service project, Attack for Alzheimer's, so make sure you bring funds if you'd like to see your advisor silly stringed on stage. Our conference will close after hearing from a motivational speaker and magician, Tom Pache.
The District 4 Leadership Conference will also be held at Northeastern Junior College in Sterling. However, it is on February 6th, 2025. We have a lot of fun things planned for the closing session, including the magician and speaker, Tom Pache. And then we also have a fun service project, so make sure to keep a lookout for that, because I'm hoping it will spike some competitive spirit with your other chapters. So our workshops will be presented by our district officer team, state officer Lindy Heelskamp, and community member Stacy Buck. Competitions will be held in the morning after the opening ceremony, and workshops will begin then as well. I can't wait to see everyone on February 6th at NJC.
Hey everyone, I'm so excited for District 5. We will begin our morning with our first workshop, which is a service project featuring Children's Hospital Volunteer Director Kathleen McBride. We'll be designing lanyard charms and also writing Nurse Appreciation cards for Nurse Appreciation Week, which we'll then be giving to Children's Hospital. And then we have our award-winning speaker, Kyle Welcome, coming in as our keynote. And finally, we have a good closing workshop that involves both networking and power words. So there's going to be a little craft you can take home as well. So I can't wait to see everybody on February 6th at Arapahoe Fairgrounds.
I'm so excited to see everyone at the District 6 conference that will be held on February 4th. For our service activity, we will be making various Valentine's Day crafts to donate to local Alzheimer's and veterans senior homes. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of the creativity from our members. Along with this, we will also be hosting our annual Knowledge Bowl competition, where you can compete in a team for a chance to win a prize. We will have 2 rounds during the conference and then a final speed round during closing session. It'll be such an exciting day, and I cannot wait to see you all.
So for District 10, we will be at the Arapahoe County Fairgrounds on February 4th. The The first activity of the day is decorating bags for Project Angel Heart. Then a representative from the Alzheimer's Association will speak about the organization and how they make an impact. After this, groups will be decorating puzzles that we're going to send to nursing homes that have Alzheimer's patients. Our keynote speaker is also Kyle Wolcom, the author of Action Packed Leadership. There will be times for members to stop by the college and employer tables as well to hear more about post-secondary opportunities. I'm so excited to meet you all.
Okay, for District 11, I'm super excited to see everyone on February 5th at the Arapahoe County Fairgrounds. We'll be starting off the morning with a workshop from our National Treasurer, Gabriel Hankins. Then we'll transition into our service project, which is Cards for Hospitalized Kids run by the district officers. And then after that, we'll have our keynote speaker, which is also Kyle Wilcom. At the conference, we'll give members an opportunity to hear from colleges and businesses in Colorado at our career fair. So I can't wait to see you guys there. Get excited.
For District 12's first conference, we will also be at the Arapahoe County Fairgrounds on February 3rd. We will be starting with our keynote speaker, Kyle Wilcom, and then moving into 2 workshops. These workshops will be run by my district officer team and guests like State President Yaitlin Chavez. Similar to other conferences, you'll have the chance to hear from local colleges and businesses at a career fair, and I can't wait to see you all at District 12's first conference.
So if you didn't have a state officer talk about the district that you're in, or if you're not sure which district you're in, you can see our map here, but we don't have them all color coded. Go ahead and take a look at our Colorado FBLA website, and then you can find all of that information, including contact information for our board members to reach out and ask more about your district conference.
Yes, and if you have a quick question, please feel free to put it in the chat. We're all here to help you out with districts. It can be confusing. But if you have more questions, you can also reach out to the state officer or board member. They know more about the district conference than anyone. They've been planning this out for months, so they would love to help you get more informed about it. And the information can be found on the Colorado FBLA website. Moving on with today's MMM, we're now going to go into some tips for succeeding in competitive events, including networking and professionalism tips as well, and what to wear and what to bring to your conference. So listen up to that and maybe even take some notes.
So for presentation events, it is essential to thoroughly review the rubric during your preparation to make sure you touch on all the key criteria that judges will be looking for. Additionally, pay close attention to the design of any visual elements to ensure they are aesthetically pleasing and effective in supporting your message. Practice is crucial for success. I recommend rehearsing your presentation in front of practice judges, such as teachers, parents, friends, or other professionals, and getting their feedback. On the day of your presentation, it is natural to feel nervous. To minimize stress, be sure to download your presentation in advance to avoid potential issues with unreliable Wi-Fi or a slideshow not loading. Lastly, maintain confidence and remember to stay energized and hydrated throughout the day to perform at your best.
To ensure thorough preparation for your testing event, carefully review the test composition outlined in your event rubric. This is going to tell you what to study and how to study it. The other thing that will happen is practice quizzes are an excellent resource to use and help you prepare. On the day of the test, it's important to stay energized and hydrated in order to optimize your brain power as you're taking the test. If you get to a question you're not so sure about, move on to the next one and return to the difficult questions later. I've done this so many times in my event. And this also means managing your time effectively. 100 questions doesn't seem like that much, but it ends up adding up. The thing is, you want to become an expert on your topic, whether it's anything from agribusiness to websites or more. You just want to know exactly what you're thinking of and be able to tell someone about it, even if it's not in an objective test. That would be my #1 tip, and reach out to people who have done it before.
So district leadership conferences also provide excellent opportunities for networking. So because we're going with schools all across your district, you're seeing people you've never seen before. So don't be afraid to strengthen your valuable skills like communication and leadership. And that's also going to help boost your confidence. And when you're attending, do not be afraid about stepping outside your comfort zone, because this way you're going to be able to meet new people, collaborate in service projects, and even through like different interactions in the hallway, they can all kind of meeting new people. And these connections and efforts will be invaluable and well worth all the effort.
When attending DLC, it is very important to demonstrate professionalism at all times. This can be achieved by arriving on time to events and workshops and being in conference dress code throughout the duration of the event. Additionally, actively engage in all activities that are offered and communicate respectfully with others. Be sure to come prepared for each day and maintain a positive and proactive attitude, as this will contribute to a productive and successful experience for both yourself and those around you.
So when you arrive to districts, make sure that you are in professional clothing. So the FBLA dress code is there to ensure that you don't get deductions on your competitive event and that you carry yourself in a professional manner. So the dress code offers a wide range of options to make sure that you're at your best and as comfortable as you can. So some dress code do's are suit pants and a jacket, blouses, collared dress shirts and ties, dress pants or skirts, business dresses and dress shoes. And a few things that you should avoid would be denim, flannel shorts, athletic clothing, leggings, skin tight clothing, athletic shoes, sandals, hiking, boots, or hats. Anything that is considered casual.
So the next thing is making sure you're prepared with everything you need at DLC. If you'll be using a computer for your event, like a presentation event, make sure you have your computer and a charger because it's going to be a long day. With that, make sure you download your presentation because a lot of these locations for districts don't have the best Wi-Fi. So make sure you're ahead of it on top, download videos and anything inside the presentation as well. And then properly equip yourself with other event materials such as props, reference sheets, clickers, speakers, and anything else you may need to ensure success in your competitive event. I know for District 11, everyone needs to have their student ID so we can make sure you're going into the right event. So make sure you're bringing that as well and just checking the call to conference.
There are a couple more items that can make your conference experience more comfortable and efficient. Given that districts takes place in the winter and around January and February, make sure to bring a jacket and coat to stay warm. To maintain energy and stay hydrated, pack snacks, gums, or mints, and a water bottle. It's always a great idea to also have Band-Aids to help with blisters or anything within your professional shoes. Also, bring a phone charger as these days will be long. These simple preparations will ensure that you're ready for a smooth competition and there's no minor setbacks throughout the day.
All right, guys, now that we've gone through some of our tips and tricks and our presentation as a whole, let's have some fun and let's do a Kahoot. I'm going to go ahead and let one of our other state officers share their screen. If I can just press this button. There we go. And then we'll get started. It's okay.
If I can figure this out. I'm so bad at Zoom.
And you're fine. If you guys want to get your phones out or some sort of electronic device you have nearby and go ahead and start heading into Kahoot. Lindy here will have the code up for us in just a second. But let's have some fun with this.
Okay, can everybody see the Kahoot?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Here, we'll get the Kahoot music. Okay, I don't know how many people we have, so if someone wants to let me know when
Okay,
we have enough.
We have some space still. We'll give them another minute. I love the little mascots on Kahoot. I wish we had the music. Is there a way for you to
hear it? I turned on. Wait, do you have to like share sound here?
Yeah, I think you have to share sound. Darn. It's okay.
Wait, I think I can figure it out.
Okay. Well, people are getting in, see if you can figure out the sound. That's the best part of Kahoot, let's be real. The thumbs up in the chat if you agree. I think the best part of Kahoot is the music. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to share it. I can hear it.
No, it's okay. Somebody pull it up on YouTube. No, it's okay. Might wait for like one or two more. I think we're almost ready. They can still join in the bottom left corner if you don't see it.
Okay.
Or in the top right. I think you're good to get started.
Okay, perfect.
All right, let's see what you guys learned. What does DLC stand for? Hope you guys get this one. I have high hopes. Lindy, do you think you know this one?
I think so.
You think so? I don't know.
I'm pretty confident.
Addison might not know it. I don't think
Yeah.
so.
It's a really difficult question. I don't.
Yes.
Guys, did you guys get tricked by they all kind of look the same? All
Oh,
right.
dang, that is a 1-point gap. That's crazy.
Wow. That's close. Districts qualify you for state. When is SLC this year? Okay, I know for a fact we covered this one, guys, but this is harder to remember. So see if you can.
I'm a state officer and I can't even remember the date half the time.
Guys, Yalen told me to make the Kahoot hard, so blame
this
her,
is
not me.
Lindy's fault,
I said
guys.
to make it slightly harder. This one's not that bad. Come on. All right, good job. See, it's not that bad. That was a good one.
Oh, dang, that was an upset.
Wow.
Okay, this one's a true or false.
Okay. These are slightly harder than they used to be.
I feel like the last question was really hard because state was like so early last year. It was like
yeah,
or something.
It was April 1st through 3rd, I think.
Yeah, and now it's like the 21st, and I'm like confusing. I get it.
But yeah, I'm crossing my fingers the restaurants at state are going to be open this year.
Oh yeah,
there was a lot that weren't last year, so that got a little bit chaotic.
That's very true. I think, from what I know, I believe they finished their remodel stuff, so hopefully it'll all be open with the pretty fountains and everything.
I definitely missed
that one really fast.
I always feel like we're with the Hunger Games with the districts. Anybody else feel that way?
Yeah, especially because now there's like 12, because there was like 11, but now there's 12. So
we
it's
need a
even,
District 13.
even longer.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, Caleb is the first ever District 12 state officer. So if you see him at your DLC, make sure to let him know that he's doing a good job in his newly founded role.
Yes. The first of many.
Setting the standard.
Right, let's see. Oh. This one's harder. This one's quite a bit harder, actually, Lindy. This was a good question.
I had to think. I hope
all the
really
state
hard.
officers get this one. I don't even know if I think all the state officers could get this one. Yeah, at the beginning it might have been hard to remember the numbers, but
I had to like match the officers to their districts first, and then
in your head.
Process of elimination.
Yeah, that was pretty good, guys. That was
pretty good.
Yeah, there's 3 districts that don't have state officers. It's 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was making sure. See, I need to make sure too.
No, isn't it 1 and then 7, 8?
Well, technically, but yeah, technically.
1. Oh, yeah, 1. But Annabelle and I help with that one sometimes. Makes it a little easier.
Yeah, District 1, Yalen and I have been
I
in
spelled that wrong.
So
yeah, you meant NJC.
Yeah, NJC, not NLC. My typing skills were not on point as
I was like, wait. I mean, NLC, FBLA, at least it fits the theme.
And I was like, oh,
that was
that could be confusing.
And members, you guys are free to unmute and just talk with us if you want to as well. Where can you find test composition? I like this one. Members,
And also,
oh, go ahead. You want to go ahead?
we'd love to hear from you guys too. So if there's an event you're excited about, a workshop that you loved last year, feel free to chat a little bit as we do this Kahoot game, because it's more of a chance for us to get to know you and to make it not so we're just sitting here talking to you guys.
Did you guys know that in FBLA you don't spell advisor with an O at the end, you spell advisor with an E?
I did not.
I thought that was kind of funny. Which of these is not a listed benefit to networking at DLC? Not a listed benefit. It's kind of hard, Lindy. I feel like they're all.
You told me to make it hard.
I feel like
The
they're
next
all
couple
good
ones I
things.
think are easier. In my
Okay,
opinion,
okay.
they're easier.
I got that one right, but that one was a little harder. I feel like that could be one of them. I'm sorry to whoever got dropped for that one. Which is not a way to stay professional at your conference. You guys are doing great. I'm excited to see who wins.
I would hope we know this one.
Yeah.
It's
The
been
sad thing
changed.
about virtual meeting is we can't give the winners candy.
I know. But we could do something at SLC, theoretically.
We can send the members candy bars in chat. We'll have Lindy send you guys some candy bars via chat.
Whoever wins will get the monthly membership meeting shout out this next month. We'll do that.
Ooh, this is a tricky one.
This is hard.
Yeah, I forgot I put this one in there.
If I get this one wrong,
Lindy, what
wait,
are
no,
these
I clicked the wrong
questions?
one.
My advisor was
two
looking
of
at it. He
them.
was like, "This one's a little hard."
I think two of
Jealous
them are
those
in
girls'
dress code,
outfits. They're so cute.
Yeah.
I want that red business suit.
I'm pretty sure it was
Yes.
C and D because
He
D
was wearing jeans.
Well, yeah, but D was also
D had
wearing
their
open-toe
heels.
heels. You can't wear open-toe.
Open-toed heels are allowed now.
Really?
They changed it last year, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was last
Never
year.
mind.
That's a
Ate my
scam.
words. Sad.
Unfair.
Yeah, whoever wins will get the monthly membership meeting shout out on Colorado FBLA Instagram page and Facebook page, technically. What's the difference between A and D? Oh.
It's a necklace and then it's hair clips. I think that's what they are.
Both very cute.
That's what I Googled to get it.
I think. What do you mean? I think, Lindy.
Well,
These
I
are
don't
your
use like hair
questions.
clips, so I don't know if I'm right.
They look like hair clips. I was just trying to process.
Don't wear hats.
As cool as that hat is, you can't wear it to your event.
Beautiful fedora. I mean, it gives me Perry the Platypus vibes, but which shoes should not be worn at an FBLA conference?
Ooh, I like this one.
I think 3 of these aren't good ideas.
I think the boots are a great idea, Yaelin.
I don't know. I personally wouldn't wear 3 of them.
The pink ones are pretty cute.
Which one is the worst?
I just tried to click the button on my laptop instead of my phone, like on the Zoom.
I feel like B would not rock with any outfit, so.
Oh no,
Unless
man.
you're wearing like a black suit, maybe, but
You could
like,
wear like a black shirt with a silver suit. It would be a statement.
Okay, this is the last question. This one's hard, actually. I remember this one. I've made this one hard.
I feel like this one's easier than some of the other ones.
I feel like
yeah, Lindy, I
maybe.
can't tell with your sense of judgment on these questions.
Your sense of judgment is confusing me.
I feel like this one's a little more obvious.
I really
Sorry,
feel for the
guys.
guys. No way the guys were seeing the difference.
Members, how are we doing with Lindy's questions?
Okay, see,
Oh,
that's
okay,
what
see,
I'm
that
saying.
one was hard. My
I
bad,
think this is
guys.
the only one that everybody got right.
My bad.
All right.
Okay, here's our
Let's
podium.
see. Yes. All right. Who will be our monthly membership meeting shout out this month?
Alexa in third, well done.
Oh, Josie.
Josie.
What are you doing here?
Josie, you know all the stuff. All right.
Aspen.
District 9.
D9.
Hi, thank you.
I love that. I'm gonna write your name down and you'll get a shout out on Instagram.
Well, thank you.
Of course. Congrats.
Aspen, well done. Even with
Very
Lindy's
speedy
trick
clicking.
questions.
I love
It
that.
wasn't a trick question, guys.
All right, let me share my screen again, guys. There we go. That was actually faster than I thought it would be. Okay. Let's move on to our next task.
Yeah, thank you guys all for playing that Kahoot. Turns out most of you know a lot of your knowledge, so good job for paying attention. So we're gonna be make sure like in these breakout rooms, we're gonna be discussing a few questions, and I'll paste them into the group chat. We have, what are you most excited for at districts? What are you competing in? And what do you wish you knew before your first DLC? And that question is like the third question is for people who've like obviously been a little bit more experienced. So you can share it out a little bit just to help your fellow FBLA members out.
Yeah, so in just a minute, we'll be going into those groups. Okay. I'm gonna share my screen again in just a second. But as everybody's coming back, does anybody want to share kind of what they talked about and something funny they learned or something like that?
I'll start off because our group just got cut off. Hazen was saying something really great. He only did a test his sophomore year and studied on the bus right there. Not to throw him under the bus. I think a lot of us do it, but he never studied the rubric. And I did this last year for my job interview competition. And I never thought, looking at the rubric could be beneficial to me. And I ended up losing a lot of points on my pre-submitted stuff. So I think it's just one thing, like very simple, but I overlooked, and I know some other people have, but studying the rubric before districts is very important.
Something we talked about in our breakout room was just like taking a deep breath and just like relaxing before your event and just like having fun with it. Cause I feel like we all get super nervous and just like forget about the actual having fun part of like presenting and doing your event. So just, yeah, I thought that was like really nice to hear.
We had a lot of people in our group kind of share about like what makes districts unique for them, whether it's competing in their events, going to workshops, and so that was really great to hear what they've done and what they're really looking forward to.
And kind of like adding on to what Maki was saying, in our room, we were talking about how the judges are just people. They aren't as scary as we make them out to be. So like remembering to calm down and take breaths.
I totally agree with that. I know in our breakout room, a lot of people talked about downloading their presentations before the district day. So remember to do that because I think it's really important. I've heard a lot of people say that that was something they wish they knew before they went.
Kind of similar to Vivian's, our group talked about how like practicing in front of like a variety of different people will really help your competition because every judge is going to be different. So if your presentation is like comprehensible to like your mom, your brother, your teacher, anyone you show it to, then it'll be good for the judges too. And then just when you get in there, really exuding confidence and showing excitement over your presentation so the judges feel excited too.
Yeah, and do any of our members want to share what they talked about? I know Vivi and I, our group was kind of talking about something funny towards the end. If anybody wants to share that as well.
I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, okay. Do you want to?
I'm sorry.
You're good. I was just gonna say, like, definitely don't leave your computer or anything that you actually need before your presentation so you don't have to go running around finding it.
Yeah,
That'd
you
be
want to
really
add anything
helpful.
onto that? You can add something if you want to.
Definitely she already went over it. I would say just don't rush and don't leave that downstairs because you need that kind of.
We've all been there. Definitely. Any other member wants to share anything?
I know that in my group at least, we really talked about like how to present to like a wide variety of judges, especially when you go in there, not using like too much jargon when you're talking with them. I know we talked about this before, but they're also like everyday people. And then when you get in there, it's super, super loud. So remembering to project so they can actually hear your presentation. And yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. Those are some good tips. Definitely agree.
To talk about that a little bit, we talked about, or I mentioned a little tip about shaking the judge's hand before you start. I think it really helps make that personal connection and a good first impression before your presentation. It kind of sets you apart from everybody else.
That's huge. I totally agree. I always try to do like for normal when we do like little interviews at my school for like clubs and stuff. I think people who do handshakes are really like you notice it immediately.
A good handshake goes a long way.
Oh yeah, don't have a flimsy hand. It feels weird. Nice firm handshake. It's important.
I just remember this too. I didn't talk about it in a room, but also I remembered hearing this is really, really important that you also just like talk naturally. Like you're not presenting, but you're talking to the judges, not talking what you've rehearsed. And so like for example, like I found like if you throw in like a couple even like questions or rhetorical things that you can use to change the way you present to them.
Oh yeah.
Like asking, are they familiar about X? And if they are, then or if they're not, then you can do a summary and then not. That allows you to be a little bit more direct, but then that also allows you to grab it just because, I mean, they're people, as we've already talked about. So I found success in that. I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
like that. The one thing I would say is it is good to have like a rehearsed script so that you're very on top of what you're gonna say. But then even like when I would have presentations, I would have like little bookmarks in my head of when I raise my voice, when I like start to ask a question, when like I would be a little bit more strong with what I'm saying, especially if it's a public speaking event. But changing the inflections in your voice instead of just being very monotone can help keep your presentation a little bit more engaging. But then also, like what you're saying, make it feel like you're talking to a real life person and then maybe finding that success in that way.
And then I can also speak to that. Yalen knows this for sure. I have what we like to call a public speaking voice, so where my voice like goes up at least 10 octaves at the time at which I present. So I literally had to sit down with her, say, okay, tell me when my voice starts sounding weird, and kind of work to adjust it from there. So that was definitely a big curve, but it helped me a lot.
Yes. For those of you that don't know, Annabelle and I go to the same school, and we were competitive event partners 2 years ago. My sophomore year, her freshman year. And we went into our event, and she started speaking really high pitched, and I had to make sure I didn't laugh in front of the judge because I was not expecting her to do that. So definitely try to practice in front of like adults or something so that you're practicing in front of some sort of authority figure so you are prepared for something like that. But yeah, go ahead, Hannah. You have your hand raised.
How would you practice like voice inflection and like having good, I don't know, like not, I don't know, having too high of a voice or too low of a voice?
I definitely say, and I'm sure some of the other officers will want to, especially I think Annabelle can speak to this, but I'd say like what Annabelle and I kind of did, where she kind of practiced in front of me, and I was like, your voice is getting high again. Make sure to stay kind of same. Try to not to be nervous or like work on this kind of thing. But also like if you record yourself talking and pretend like you're in front of somebody, record yourself and like while you're in front of some sort of authority figure, like your advisor, a teacher so that you can notice how you talk in front of like adults and stuff like that, and then look back at the video or do it in front of the mirror. Those are the things that come to my mind. But somebody wants to have.
The other thing I would add is I always bold or like highlight or italicize words I want more of an emphasis on. So definitely the points you like, no matter what, cannot leave out of your presentation, even if things go wrong. So I found that like highlighting, but then also like Yalen said, practicing in front of a mirror, looking back at a video, a lot of that can be really, really helpful to kind of see where you're going wrong and what you can do to further improve it a little bit.
And I'd like to add on that super quick. One thing I found success in is not even just changing like the pace or the tone of my voice, but was adding in like intentional pauses. I competed in job interview last year and took it to nationals. And the one thing I got in my comments a lot was you could tell I was thinking about the question. So if any of you guys are in job interview, this is direct to you. But if you're just in a presentation one, if someone asks you a question, like one of the judges is following up on your event. If you just start rattling off an answer, you're going to sound monotone, worried, like not a very clear and succinct answer. But if you take a moment, like I would do a trick, like I would look up at the wall or something, then look back at them and be like, that was a really good question. Let me have a moment for that or something. Just like having a pause so where you can adjust your voice and seem more composed of yourself. That also plays into practicing that inflection in your voice because you can't really practice what they'll ask you, but you can always practice your first words that you'll respond to them. So that's a good way to kind of sound composed and then have your answer a little bit more logical, is what I found.
I know we've mentioned it a lot, but I wanted to add something on there too. When you're talking, we talked about a little bit about talking to the judge like they're an actual person, and I think a lot of that is being conversational. So when you're talking about something like happy or sad, use that emotion in your voice and kind of almost just let your emotions play into the words you're talking because that's going to make you sound more personable. It's going to give you a better connection with the judge through what you're talking about, and they're just going to notice that you're actually conversationally talking to them and not just talking directly at them. You're talking to them.
Great tips, guys. Does anybody else have any other questions before we move on? Feel free. This is one of the best times to ask.
I have another thing. This is especially for when someone asks you a question, but how can you prevent like stuttering or using a lot of filler words and like answering the question like without adding anything extra, I guess?
Um,
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. I was gonna say, like for me, since I do debate, I can totally relate to that entire thing. Um, but I think just in general, if you talk slow and kind of think through your words a little bit, well, then it not only gives you more time to think, but also it helps you not mess up as much. And more importantly, like if you go in with a confident attitude and a confident demeanor, you're less likely to mess up because you look like you know what you're talking about.
The other thing kind of bounces off what Lauren said for the last part. Instead of adding in other filler words. I forget the other ones, but there's a lot that people use, and you kind of got to be really aware of them. But instead, taking a pause between your answer and the question being asked can really kind of help you to compose it. And if you do make a mistake, don't go back over your words and say, "Oh my goodness, I shouldn't have said that," because that just makes it less professional. Odds are they'll probably not even remember it 5 minutes down the road.
Or they won't know at all. Sorry, go ahead. Or they won't know at all because
my quick thing, I would when I would take my pause, look up at the wall for the question, or like look at them and think for a moment, I would respond with a generalization. Like if they asked me how I was going to improve marketing at this company, I would say, well, the way I'm going to improve marketing is through blank. And then if it's such a very broad and basic thing to generalize my answer, I can build off of it, and it doesn't have to be the idea I was initially thinking. But if I go off of that one like power statement, or if I can pull a line from something I talked about earlier, it'll be easier to continue off of that point and not add in fillers or continue adding words that are not necessary to your answer.
One thing, if I can add one more thing, when you're getting asked questions, if it's not a question with a direct right or wrong answer, the judges don't know if what you're saying is true or if it's partially made up. So just be confident with what you're saying and they will believe what you say. I've done a lot of presentations and at the end of them, they ask you the questions and a lot of them are mostly opinion questions. So just be confident in what you're saying. Yeah.
exactly what I was going to say. Totally agree. Anybody else? You can also ask a question. If there's any in the chat or anything, I'd love to answer those as well. Any suggestions for studying for a test, especially personal finance and business calculation / financial Quizlets? Yes, I think that using Quizlets and just searching stuff up and practicing, or even like like literally going on Google and looking at personal finance questions can be super helpful, and just going through those again and again. Anybody else want to add to that?
For the FBLA test, especially on the rubrics that you can find on the website, they have these little charts with test compositions on them, and it tells you like a topic and how many questions on the test are about that topic. So look over those just so you kind of know what the test is going to be over. Even if they're broad categories, it's still better than going and not really knowing those things.
They also have practice tests directly on the competitive event guidelines and all that. They have practice tests you can work on, and those I found really helpful because they actually kind of show you how they directly word the questions in the test.
Any other questions?
I do. My question is, if you are nervous and you're walking in front of them, you don't want to show that you're nervous. So how would you limit that in your facial expressions and your body language? So if your fingers might be shaking or something like that.
Honestly, I think my biggest tips for this as like a public speaker is just like to take a really big deep breath. I think you have to almost get in your head that you've worked really hard to be here and that you know that you can do well. And so you have to just go in confident that everything's going to work out. You can't think about the what ifs. You can't think about the messing up. You have to go in thinking that I'm going to crush this and I'm going to do really well and the judges are going to love it. And I think that taking a deep breath is a really good way to kind of clear the air and clear your mind before you go in and start talking. And if you have to pause a little bit, that's totally fine. People don't notice when you pause when you talk most of the time because they just think it's part of what you're doing. So that's really helpful if you just take a deep breath and just pause for a second to kind of collect your thoughts.
One thing I'd say, oh, you go. You go.
All right. if you're like in a group or with like multiple people, like one or two people, or two or three people, and like one person in that group is like extra nervous and they like to like sway a lot. Something that my team did one time, we had a competitor who was really nervous and she would just like sway all the time. So we kind of sandwiched her in between us two, and like if we caught her swaying, we would like stop her with our body, and that helps. So like just if you're in a team, like having your teammates help you too can really help calm your bodies as well.
One thing I'd say is I do this thing where I hold my hands in front of like my stomach, and that makes me look really nervous, and I end up twiddling with my thumbs and like picking at my fingers and stuff. So what I did last year, this guy told me to wear a blazer that is long enough and hold the like ends of it to help you not mess with your hands, and you just like it's like a power stance. And then I also sway really bad, so make sure your feet, I like to put my feet shoulder width apart because that kind of limits the amount you can sway with like having your feet in that position. Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is my job to add on in the voice chat, but I've also, like, 'cause I've had a lot of issues with that. And I think another good thing is to practice like you're going through a natural disaster as far as presentations would be concerned. When I would go and practice, I'd practice like what I would do if I lost my PowerPoint presentation to halfway through, what would I do there? If I looked at my time and I had way less time, what would I do there? And so like on the weeks before, that was just something I really hammered on, is kind of just addressing every what if possible. And then like on the hours before, when you get there, you just need to realize that what you're going to do is what you're going to do. That you're not is you make a mistake, being nervous about that mistake is going to make it way worse, and that most likely you're not even going to make a mistake that is going to be noticeable unless you get super worked up about it. And so you just want to basically assure yourself that by pretending to be confident, you actually are going to be confident and you are going to do a good job, because that is going to happen. I promise you on that. And so, yeah, maybe I'm going a little bit over, but just in short, just practice like it's going to be really bad. And then the day you show up, just understand that it's, you've prepared for that, and whatever happens is going to be okay. Because it's not, you'll be fine.
Great tips. I love that. That's really nice actually. I totally agree.
So if you guys have any further questions, feel free to throw them in chat, and we'll kind of have our officers answer them as Yalen kind of continues on our meeting a little bit, so we can let you guys get to the rest of your nights and also make sure that we're making the best of your guys' time.
And if you have any questions you think of after the meeting, please go ahead and go to the Colorado FBLA website. And you can find all of our contact information or go to our Instagrams. I think all of us have FBLA Instagrams. So you can reach out to us that way as well. I'm sure everybody would be happy to do even a virtual meeting or anything like that. So yeah, please reach out if you can. But we're going to, oops, I went the wrong way. There we go. We're going to very quickly go over state of our state. This, for those of you that don't know, is just an update on what has been going on at the state level and what initiatives the executive officers have been going over. So we're just going to do a very quick pass over this.
All right, so for service, again, we've continued doing our service Sundays. So if your chapter has done any community work, make sure you guys are submitting that so you guys can get recognition for it and peak award points. For fundraising, with districts and state coming up, that is going to be huge. So make sure to take a look at our fundraising toolkit. You can go to our website, and then under resources and advisor resources, you can find that there. There are a lot of great ideas that you guys can do that are new, that are different, that maybe your school hasn't done before, because I know that those can tend to get pretty repetitive. And then for our financial literacy awareness, we have continued to do Financial Fridays, and our last challenge of the year, Finance Challenge, it will be the Shark Spiel. We'll be getting a post out about it soon, so stay tuned for that, and we'd love to see you guys submit posts for that.
Perfect. Oops. Covering the realm of education, we've been pretty busy these last couple of months. Alumni interviews are continuing interviewing officers, and former mentor members. So I'm still in search of any former FBLA members who have lessons to share, whether it's a parent, an advisor, a community member. We'd love to hear from them, so feel free to pass my contact info along. Colorado FBLA Today, we've been using as more of a leverage to spotlight our members, officers, and more. And our officers have been writing some amazing content. So please make sure to check that out. You can find the link on our website or message me directly and I can help you find it. And then educational content, spotlighting our programs and events. And you'll see more of these competitive event tip posts soon. And I attach my contact info as we get closer to competitive event season. If there's a question you have, I can probably answer it, find the answer, or direct you to someone who can help you out. So we're always here for you.
So for progress, we have been continuing the CTSO collaborations. This month, we will be posting the FBLA and the FFA collaboration. And then next month will be our last one, and it will be FBLA and Skills USA. And then for member recognition, we have continued doing members of the month. December was posted this last week, and we're still taking submissions for January. And like how you saw in this meeting, we have recognized an MMM standout member, which is Aspen, and that will be posted later this month as well. And then competition resources, I was kind of listening around this meeting to find some questions to answer, but I will have posts made this month in preparation for districts, so keep your eye out for those so that you can find more tips for districts or send some information that you learned in this meeting along to some of your chapter members.
Sorry. So one other thing I want to mention is that President's Council has also been working for some really fun initiatives. For example, we're doing a merch challenge. So whichever chapter wants to submit 3 different merch items they would sell at the state leadership conference, those 3 merch items they would be able to actually sell at that conference if they win the competition, and they would get to keep all of the money that they make while they're selling there. So that's a really great opportunity to keep your eye out.
So some of you guys have done this before, but you know the deal. 2 peace signs and then cross over those middle fingers for a perfect FBLA delta. And then if you guys could just smile, I'll take a selfie for us. I know there's still a few cameras. If you guys could all turn them on, that would be fantastic. Maybe. I think this is the time. All right. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Beautiful screenshot. Thank you, you guys.
Very nice. But like I said, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us. But thank you all so much for attending. We hope you learned something and you can take some of this stuff back to your chapter to share with them as well. But make sure to follow Colorado FBLA on all of our social media pages, especially Instagram, because that's what we use the most. But we hope we all see you at our next monthly membership meeting in February 10th at 7 p.m., same time, to discuss leadership and everything that goes along with it. But for now, the January monthly membership meeting is adjourned. Have a great night, everybody.